Feels great on the low.
All right. So that feels good for you, Barbara?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I'm going to get some music going. I'll share it in just a minute. And as I mentioned, this practice is about receiving today. It's about filling up your well. If it's whether it's been depleted or you're just preparing for the months ahead. And if you can just give me a little thumbs up if the music volume is okay. Um, I'll turn it up a little higher. How is that? Yes. Okay, great. All right. So as you breathe in, visualize your body filling up. Visualize it filling up with whatever it is you need. And you can think of something physical, like just more oxygen in the body, perhaps more space along the torso. Perhaps the breath is filling up the belly and stretching the diaphragm muscle. So one of the things that we've talked about before are the koshas, or the different layers, the different bodies we have. And the first layer is the physical body. So in this pose, just noticing what your physical body needs in this moment. And so we fill up on the breath in and we let go on the breath out. Imagine yourself filling up physically with whatever it is you need. It could be feeling the ribs expanding front, side, and back. It could be a gentle stretch across the collarbones and the front of the shoulders. And if you're not feeling enough there, you could slide your arms up more like a T position. And allowing the space around the heart to expand. Preparing yourself to receive. Receive what you need. And the physical body, sometimes, well, it is referred to as the Annamaya Kosha, or the food body. Here you could let your head gently flow from side to side, just to the degree that feels right. And let the block create this gentle massaging effect. So you decide how much to press the head into the block. And this can also help to Create a gentle stretch along the neck. And if it feels good to just pause and let the head rest to one side or the other. And if you like, take your attention to your hands. Stretch the fingers wide, stretch the hands wide. And you could do a little pulse where you stretch the hands, soften, and then stretch the hands again. Getting your hands ready to receive. So you're welcome to stay here at the Anamaya Kosha level, focusing on the physical body. Or if you'd like to travel to the next layer, the Pranamaya Kosha, or the energy breath body. Sensations are a little more subtle. So you may want to find stillness in the body so it's not distracting. And as you breathe in, feel the quality, the gentle increase in the energy. And perhaps you can layer on a physical quality. Maybe it feels warm or spacious. But it's a sense of filling up, a sense of raising up the energy. And then as you exhale, just notice the quality of energy that comes with that. A sense of cooling, a sense of letting go, maybe relief. And just take a couple more rounds of breath, focusing either on the energetic quality or the physical qualities of the body in this pose, in this moment. And if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. And if you find it difficult to keep your mind focused on the more subtle qualities of the energetic body, you may find it beneficial to shift to the physical qualities. It just gives a little bit more texture to keep the mind right here. And now if you'd like a little bit more sensation along the back of the skull, you could take the block a little higher. You just flip it up to the next height. And the corner of the block is going to go right at the base where the skull meets the neck. So it's still a bony sort of texture. And you could gently let the head flow from side to side. You may find that the sensations here are much more noticeable. If they're too noticeable, you can drop the block down again. And you may find yourself going back and forth from the Annamaya Kosha to the Pranamaya Kosha. And you may find that the Annamaya Kosha, focusing on the physical sensations, allows you to connect more deeply with the body. So that's part of your objective in your practice. I invite you to consider that. Now, as you're gently letting your head flow from side to side, and this could be just a millimeter. It doesn't have to be much movement at all. Intentionally release the jaw. And you may notice there is an energetic connection between the jaw and the hips. Now feel free to linger with the head if you find a spot. Maybe as you turn slightly to the right, you pause and you just let your chin kind of drop up and down. Getting a little bit more deeply into that side. So I invite you to be curious about this. If you've lingered on one side, take this time to transition to the other side to invite balance. And again, you can do this with the block on the lower height if this is more sensation than you are interested in. Yeah, just one more breath. Make your way back to the center. And if your block went to the higher level, you can drop it back down to that low level. And take your right ankle and cross it over the left thigh. So we're making a figure 4. And you can keep that left leg on the chair. Your right hand gently presses the right leg away. I invite you to use the exhale to encourage the back of the hips to get heavy. Just take a couple more breaths here. Release the right leg to meet the left. And take a moment, just notice any differences in the two sides of the body. And then take the left ankle over the right, a gentle pressing of the right thigh away from you. And just notice how it feels to operate at this slower pace, acknowledging that this may be very challenging. And so, as always, you can modify or make this a little bit more physically challenging, maybe sliding away the chair and hugging that right leg in. So sometimes we need to dial our practice down. Sometimes we need to rev it up a little bit. So just notice if this is too slow for you. That you can make adjustments that help you stay more connected. Sometimes giving the mind something to do in terms of more things to watch or coordinate in the body is what we need to stay in this moment. All right, release that left leg. So you've got both legs on the back of the chair. And to come out of this, remove whatever you might have had on your hips. Hug the knees in, give them a gentle squeeze. And now slide the chair away from you if possible. And I know that might not be possible for all, but we want to end up on our backs without props. So I apologize if this is not a very smooth transition. And you can have a block just to the side within reach, and you're welcome to pad your head with a blanket. If you're on a hardwood floor, that can feel kind of nice. And then just notice how your body feels being a little more connected with the surface underneath you. So I'm going to transition in giving options to sort of up the intensity, the heat of the practice. But again, if you like the idea of filling up, I invite you to stay at the first option, which would be hugging the right leg in and extending the left leg long. So you take a few breaths here. Now, if you're looking for something a little more physically challenging, a little bit more heated, you could float your left foot off the mat, just about 5 inches. Now, relax the lower back to the floor, so you don't want to be overarching. If you'd like to add another layer of intensity, roll the head and shoulders up. And if you'd like to focus a little more on the core, remove the hands from the leg and clasp behind the head. Now the challenge here, can you let your head relax in the hands? Can you soften the neck? Can you keep the lower back relaxed and connected to the floor? And then a little bit of a pulse. You bring the right knee in, relax, bring it in. The movement's going to be small because it's already quite close to you. And you may feel a bit of sensation along the right oblique. Just one more breath, then release everything down. Take a full body stretch. Noticing the two sides of the body. And now let's do the other side. You hug the left leg in. And now remember, if you're feeling low on energy, if you want more of the restorative aspect to your practice, you stay right here. You want to travel into different levels of intensity. The first level is lifting the right leg up. Now, right away, notice if the lower back is arching and there's any discomfort. You want to relax the lower back to the mat. And then curl the head and shoulders up. Maybe release the hands behind the head. Now, can you relax the lower back? Can you relax the neck? Those two are energetically connected. Remember to breathe. Maybe you pulse the left leg in. And this is going maybe just a half an inch. There's just very tight range of motion here. Another breath. Then release everything down. Take another full body stretch. Slide the legs to the left. Grab the right wrist and stretch your body to the left. So we're creating a banana shape with the body. You could cross the right leg over the left, inviting a deeper stretch along the right side of the hip. This is like the half moon that we do standing. Exhale, come back to the center. Notice the two sides of the body. Clasp the left wrist, slide the legs to the right, and stretch your body to the right. Maybe you cross that left leg over the right. Come back to the center. Release the arms to the sides. Bend the knees, feet are flat on the floor. All right, so the most restorative option will be to slide the block underneath the lower back, a supported bridge. I'm going to give more physically challenging. So notice if you're looking for restorative, the lower back is, or the sacrum actually, is on the block. Otherwise, you press into the feet, let the hips lift, but the lower back stays relaxed. You can even float the toes off the floor so you feel the weight in the heels, and that's going to activate the back of the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit more. Lower the toes to the mat, lift the hips a little bit higher. Find the back bend. So now you feel the stretching across the front of the hips. And now we're going to lower down with the intention of lowering one vertebrae at a time. Starting with the upper back, you lower down, you get to the mid back, which is kind of tricky to articulate. The lower back, and then the tailbone. Then the hips roll forward, you arch the lower back, you press into the feet, you lift up. And the arch goes from the lower back to the mid back, you press into the shoulders, you feel it in the upper back. Repeat that, lowering down, upper back, mid back, lower back, hips. Roll the hips forward, press into the feet so the hips rise, and then the arch comes mid back, upper back. And just repeat this at your own pace. And remember, you could stay in that supported bridge pose if that's serving you. So this is somewhat similar to the cat and cow that we do on our hands and knees. All right, next time the hips come down, pause here. Again, stay in that supported bridge pose if that's what you've decided to do. All right, so a couple of options. This is going to be to work the glutes and the hamstrings. So the first option we've done before, where you have a little more weight on the left foot as you rise up and then lower down. If you want to add on, you would extend the right leg forward. So the knees are aligned, and then you press into the left leg and you lower down. So you've got three options. You can take the restorative, supportive bridge pose. You can do this sort of pulsation with both feet on the ground, but you just have more weight on the left, or that right leg is extended. Now, if you're pulsing, pause here. The hips are up. The focus is on the left foot. And then shift the weight so it's equal on both. So you'll lower the right leg to the floor if it was extended. Slowly lower down. And we'll do the other side. So option to extend the left leg long. Press into that right leg and you rise. And then you have that gentle pulsation. So you could either have both feet on the ground with the emphasis on the right, or you could lift that left leg up so it's a little bit more challenging for that right side of the body. Pause next time the hips are lifted. Lower the left leg if it was lifted. Shift the weight so it's even on both heels, and then slowly lower down. Draw the knees in, give them a little hug, a nice stretch to the lower back. And let's make some circles with the knees. Relax the jaw, create space between the backs of the teeth. Reverse direction. You land in the center, and now circle the knees apart. Getting into the hip joints. So the inner thighs, the groin areas where we have a lot of lymph nodes. And the lymphs are key for our immune system because they help to just flush out the things we don't need. And doing this movement and stretching of the inner thighs and the armpits can help to facilitate that. And that's all part of filling up our well. Reverse the direction of those circles. Pause with the knees together. Extend the shins so you've got 90 degrees. So restorative option would be You could slide the chair back under the thighs and revisit the pose we started with. Otherwise, we'll do some more core work here. So keep the lower back resting to the floor. And you can have your arms out to your side, palms down. So if you feel the lower back kick in, put more weight into the hands, taking the burden off the lower back. Lower the right leg to the floor. You keep the knee bent, and then you lift it up. Actually, you don't have to touch the floor. You're just lowering, alternating left and right in the direction of the floor. Keep the belly button drawn in and keep the lower back still. Stay with this or extend the arms up to the ceiling and do the opposite arm, stretching it behind you. So we're moving the arms and legs, and we want to focus on how still can we keep our torso? Can we keep the lower back in an easeful position? Finish off an equal amount of times. Hug the knees in. And then transition to happy baby. Maybe you grab the inner knees, maybe you grab the ankles, maybe the inner feet. The feet are flexed. Try to keep the lower back towards the floor. And you're welcome to do a gentle rock here. Massaging out the lower back again. And if you're finding any tension in the body, sometimes just sliding the hands a little closer to the knees can bring some ease. And again, as the inner thighs are being stretched, this is helpful for the lymphatic system. Just another breath here. You pause, bring the knees together, lower the feet to the mat, grab your block. The block goes between the thighs. And the feet lift up. So the more restorative option is going to be to just let your knees, well, we'll both do this and then I'll tell you where the restorative option is. So the arms can come out to the side. Let the knees lower towards the right. So restorative option is to stay right here. More active option, use the bottom knee to press up. Lower the knees to the left. I'll cue you when to switch if you're holding. Press the left leg up, come through center. Exhale to the right. So you're flowing side to side if you're taking the more active option. The bottom leg is pressing you up. You're using the oblique that's closest to the floor. If you chose to stay, you could transition now. Remember to breathe. Very nice. If you're flowing side to side, just finish up. And we'll meet in the center. So if you stayed on one side, press up to center. The knees a little hug. Lower them to the floor. You've still got the block. Press the hips up, coming into an active bridge. And then slowly lower down. Let's transition up to table. Transitioning as you like, whether it's rocking up or Slowly taking it through the side. You're welcome to pad your knees. Spread the fingers wide. And just feel your way into your table pose. Maybe lift the fingers, spread them wide, and replant them. Toes are turned under. Just do a couple of rounds of cat and cow. Just noticing any similarities in this movement compared to when you did it lying on your back. And now pause here. Walk the hands forward about 4 inches. And then press back to your puppy pose. So nice stretch under the armpits. On your inhale, come back up to, it's kind of like table, but it's more like a knee down plank. Take a little push-up, straighten, and then press back. We're going to flow between those two actions. With your breath, you inhale, take the little push-up, exhale, you press back. Now the restorative variation would be to just hold that Anahata Asana, the puppy pose. Let's take one more round of this flowing sequence. We'll meet up in table. Let's just take some hip circles here. Nice way to release the hips. We'll get into some knee down lunges. So preparing. And reverse the direction of those hips. And of course you could take this any way you like. If there's another creative way you like to loosen up and free the hips, take that. Pause in the center. Now let's press back to a child's pose. Stack your fists and let the forehead relax. Now as you breathe, invite the breath to fill the back of your body. As you exhale, get heavy, let go. And when you're ready, you can slowly press back to a downward dog if that feels good. Let the backs of the legs open, maybe pedal them out. Notice how it feels to have a little more of your body away from the mat. And walk your hands to the back of the mat. You're in a forward fold. Nice deep bend in the knees, forearms on the thighs. Relax the head and the neck. And then hands come on the hips, and inhale, you rise up, take a gentle back bend. Allow the breath to create space along the front of the hips, along the belly. And then inhale, reach up, stretch, take a gentle back bend. On your exhale, you fold. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. Next inhale, chair pose. Next inhale, rise up, gentle back bend. Flip the left wrist, grab it, stretch to the right. We did this pose lying down. Notice how it feels here in a different configuration. Inhale back through center. Switch sides, stretch to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. Next inhale, chair pose. Rise up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. Next inhale, chair pose. Rise up, gentle back bend. Exhale, release the arms down. Gently roll out the shoulders. And when you're ready, mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. You can keep the blanket down if you like the support for knee down lunges. On your inhale, reach the arms up with a gentle back bend. On your exhale, you fold. Inhale, press into the legs. On your exhale, left leg steps back, the knee comes down. Adjust the block so you can maintain some nice length in the spine. So again, we're getting into that front hip. On your exhale, lengthen the front leg. And on the inhale, bend. So flow with your breath. So again, this is kind of a gentle pumping action for those lymph nodes that linger around the inner thigh area. Pause here, transition the hands to that front leg. Knee directly over the ankle. Inhale the left arm up and then stretch to the right. Inhale back to center, hands to the blocks. Right knee back to meet the left. Toes curl under. Lengthen the tailbone, lift up on the belly. On your exhale, you lean back just to the degree that feels right. So more restorative, you could just kind of hang out in a gentle sort of angle. Just one more round. We'll pause and come into Sphinx pose. You're on forearms and belly. Adjust the elbows so that you feel the lower back able to ease into a gentle arch. And then take a look over towards the right. Come back through center. Take a look over the left. Come back to center. And we're going to make half circles with the neck. So look over to the right. Drop the nose towards the right shoulder. I'm going to come down towards the floor to the left shoulder and up. And then just reverse that. So let this movement be in line with your flexibility, your limitations. So perhaps not making a full half circle, just a gentle movement to invite a therapeutic stretch. And finish off one more half circle. You come back to center. Release all the way down, making a pillow with the hands that the forehead can rest on. And take that right knee into half frog. So you slide it up so it's approaching the height of the hip. The right foot is turned out. And then notice the physical body, the Annamaya Kosha. Can you release or soften that right hip anymore? Notice the physical sensations of the breath as it flows into the belly. And maybe you let the forehead just roll out on the back of the hands. And energetically, when we massage the space between the eyebrows, it can have a relaxing effect on the nervous system. If you like, you can notice the prana body, the breath body. What are the energetic qualities of this pose? Usually when we have a lot of our body touching the floor, it offers a grounding quality. When we get into the hip area, that's the water element. And whatever you're doing, just find stillness for a breath. Slide the right leg to meet the left. Take a moment, notice the two sides of the body. When you're ready, the left knee comes up, half frog. Scan the physical body. If there's discomfort under the knee, sometimes a rolled up blanket can be helpful. If the stretch is too much, maybe slide the knee down a little bit. You're welcome to stay with all the physical sensations that arise. Or shift to the more subtle sensations of the energetic qualities of this pose. How does this pose feel energetically in your body? And Release the left leg down. Take a moment. When you're ready, slowly transition up to table. Either press back to a child's pose or maybe a downward dog. Noticing which one of those would feel better physically and energetically. The child's pose is going to be more grounding. The downward dog, a little bit more of that air and fire element. Whichever pose you've taken, notice the physical sensations. And then maybe the energetic offerings the pose has for you this morning. We'll meet up in table when you're ready. Grab your blocks. Take that left foot forward. And invite that flow. Notice the physical qualities of this rhythmic vinyasa. Maybe you notice the energetic qualities. Pause with the knee bent. Transition the hands to that front thigh. The right arm reaches up. You stretch to the left. Inhale back up, hands come to the block. And take that left knee back to meet the right. Take your blocks with you. So camel pose. You can have your hands on your hips, and why don't we just start with that? Toes can be curled under. Allow the hips to go forward. So there's no pinching in the lower back. If there is, the best way to approach that is come out of the back bend a little bit. If you like, the right arm can come up and maybe it finds the block. And the left arm comes up. So wherever you are, invite the opening and the lift in the front of the body. About a quality of grounding in the back of the body. And then very slowly release out of this. Take a moment, that's a deep back bend. When you're ready, come into Sphinx pose. And forearms and belly. And you can make those half circles with the nose side to side. If you're feeling like before we come onto our backs and enter the chill zone, you'd like to take a forearm plank, then this is a great position and opportunity for that. right. And then release down. Let the forehead come onto the back of the hands. And then you're welcome to bend the knees and just let the legs flow side to side. And with the emphasis on heaviness in the hips, invite a gentle massage to the front of the hips. And just take another moment and then release the legs down. Once again, press yourself up to table, either child's pose or maybe downward dog. And release to table. And transitioning to your back, have your block and a strap. And if you want to add any layers of clothing, this would be a good time to do that. And once you come onto your back, have your knees bent and feet on the floor. And we'll start with the block. You'll slide the block underneath the tailbone. Take a moment just to feel, maybe physically, that sense of draining and blood flow and lymph flow from the thighs and the hips to the heart so it can be recirculated. And this would be the more restorative option. Alternatively, you could lift your legs, extend them to the ceiling. And since lymph was part of our theming today, you want to come into a straddle, maybe bend the knees, straighten the knees, and then use the core. Imagine you're squeezing a beach ball between your legs, and you flow in and out of that sequence. So that's going to be the more active option. You have the option of the restorative bridge pose. You could hold a static inversion where the legs stay extended, or maybe they stay straddled. All right, and we'll finish up that sequence and lower the feet to the floor back into your restorative bridge. No hurry to get there. And press into the feet to slide the block to the side, maybe to the left side. Grab your thigh. Take it on the heel of the right leg as you extend it up to the ceiling. Extend the left leg long. And take that right leg across the body into your spinal twist. Inhale back up to center. Extend the left leg up, switch legs. So the right leg extends long. The thigh is on the left heel. And let that left leg come across the body into a spinal twist. When you're ready, come back to the center. Hug the knee in. And then extend it long for Shavasana. Grabbing any props that will allow you to sink more deeply into sometimes referred to as the peak pose, Shavasana. Take a moment first to scan your body and release any physical distractions by making gentle movements and adjustments. And then inviting your attention to find the more subtle sensations of the breath. Observing the ebb and flow. And just like you may watch waves going in and out of the ocean, assign that quality to your breath. So you watch the breath coming in like the tide, and it peaks and it doesn't rush out. You watch it wash out. Watch the breath exhale out of your body. It doesn't rush back in. And so if it's helpful to visualize, you can assign this visualization of the waves in rhythm with your breath flowing in and out. Invite your next breath to be a little longer and a little deeper. And notice the sensations that come with that longer, deeper breath. When you're ready, you can invite larger sensations, maybe wiggling your fingers or toes, maybe letting your head flow side to side. And when you're ready, just slowly transitioning to your side, enjoying a pause and taking a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to fill your well. When you're ready, you can come to seated, but also know that lingering in a supine position may be what you need. If you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, take a deep breath in. Om. Namaste.